Yes, sir. This is the Nuff Said Sports Podcast. My name is Adam Dickens. That is Trey Adams. This is episode 13, week 13 of the best sports podcast up and coming. We are just two guys with a dream of making this podcast one of the best out there, specifically in the sports category. Trying to make things happen. We feel like we got something going, and I hope you guys agree after watching this. With that being said, today we are going to be talking about James Harden. We got some running back signings in the NFL. We're going to talk about a little some preseason stuff, and then we're going to do a breakdown overview of the NFC East. Trey, how are you today? I caught you drinking, dog.
Better now that I got some black label in my life. Much better.
There you go. I
You?
did my little drinky drink earlier.
Yeah, man. Got to.
Absolutely. With that being said, hit the intro, guys. All right, we are back and better than ever. Really excited to talk about some good stuff. We got a little NBA talk we're going to hit off first. James Harden, man, you know what, Trey? I think you're a liar, okay? And I will never do a podcast with somebody that's a liar, okay? Who lies, okay? That's a little weird to say. It's a little generic. So what are you thinking about this James Harden, 76ers, Dale Murray situation?
I mean, for you to start off with that means I clearly the contract you signed, I told you I was gonna pay you something and I didn't. So maybe just something a little. Um, but nah, I do think that whole situation is just it's crazy. If you look at the history with that situation between them, like their relationship, and them kind of following each other, and then this all of a sudden now he's just coming out in China in front of pretty much an audience that Morley is not even well, he it does have a relationship with, and just coming out and just saying you're a liar and I'll refuse to play for you. That means something. I think it's something behind closed doors that's happening that need to come to light immediately. What about you?
I'm based on what you said. I'm pretty sure. I think it's safe to say we're gonna be hearing way more stuff about this. More things are coming to light, especially in
Mm-hmm.
relationships, specifically like the one that James Harden and Dale Murray have, and just like relationships that we know in life, right? People that you have known for a long time. They know the secrets that you keep in your closets, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, they know the stuff that nobody else needs to know. And that goes both ways for James Harden and Daryl Morey. I think that because of that, it's gonna get real messy, super messy. I mean, and
Agreed.
speaking of that, I mean, you're doing underhanded deals. The NBA, fined the 76ers for tampering, specifically using James Harden to be able to sign down your house, and PJ Tucker. So it's a lot of fishy stuff going on, and it's not the first time that the 76ers organization has been fined for tampering. Specifically, they've been fined for tampering 2 times in the last 3 years. So it's not the first time they're doing underhanded deals and doing stuff behind the NBA's back. So I think it's a lot going on with that organization. They're not known for being, the innocent by the rules type of place. You know what I mean?
It's
Uh,
just it's crazy. Like to think they was in Houston, then again, then let him go to Brooklyn, and then Morey ends up going to Philadelphia, and then he ends up following him to Philadelphia, and now all of this, it was just like so y'all had a great relationship for that long, and now all of a sudden you're just like you took a pay cut. I'm assuming you took a pay cut because you thought more money was going to come out of nowhere, which is that under the table tampering part that is being speculated. And now all of a sudden it's just like he's a liar. So again, what are we missing being the general public? What the hell are we missing from that? That is clearly the main reason why James Harden is like even talking about possibly saying, I will play in China rather than play for this guy. Because there's speculations that he said it too. China loves me. I might have to come over. I might have to play over here. And it was like, I think this guy's fucking serious.
Well, if the 76ers don't watch out, based on what we saw in Houston and Brooklyn, they about to get a James Harden that's shaped like myself. Okay, if they don't watch out, let's be honest. Like this man about to come looking like he done spent a couple days at Golden Corral. All right, and you know I think you phrased it kind of nicely earlier, but he's not someone who's unusual, forcing himself out of situations he don't want to be part of. Right? We saw Houston. You know, we saw Brooklyn. Where else we see him leave out of? Give me somewhere else I'm missing besides Brooklyn, or is that it?
Uh, yeah, because OKC, I think he wasn't he a free agent out of there?
See, OKC was a little bit of a different situation because they pretty much didn't want. They knew they couldn't pay him,
Yeah,
and so he felt like he was unwanted. He had kind of made that place his home.
yeah,
So in that situation, he just felt unwanted. But if we're being honest, you know, he's burnt bridges every place he goes. Like, not burnt bridges, but like it's been some type of fucked up part of a relationship between every organization he's been to. He felt unwanted with the Thunder. Brooklyn, he didn't like how he was being used, from what I was being told.
yeah,
Or he didn't agree. It didn't. It wasn't the same situation he agreed upon when he first joined.
yeah.
This part with the 76ers, like Houston, I don't know exactly. I forgot why he wanted to just leave Houston. I think it was just time to go. They weren't. I think he did. He left because they weren't contenders anymore or something like that, and they promised to get
Yeah.
players, stuff like that. You know, but I mean, yeah, it's rough. It is. I'm telling you,
It's a lot.
he about to come
It's
with a plus 35 on his belly. That's what he about to come.
it's a lot. And I read something earlier today about that. Like he came to one of the Rockets training camp like 25 or 30 plus pounds, and then he was like, dude is fat. And they made him lose it in training camp, but he still had some weight on him. Like for the season. He was just in shape with it in the sense of he toned it out. But yeah, he definitely has some relationship building skills to work on. And now he knows to not trust GMs like at all. Like don't trust people. Like if they say, yeah, we're gonna sit here and do this and do that for you, I need that shit in writing. Fuck all that under the table bullshit. Nah, I need that in writing because this is what happens, and now your feelings is hurt. So now you got to put my man on blast. You got
That's a lesson for the public, man. That is an absolute lesson for the public. If you're doing business with family, friends, whoever you think you're really close with, always have a written out contract, something that you can come back to. I don't care how close you are, if it's your best friend. Like you need to have something just in case, because when you talking money or promises, whatever it is, like people start acting a little funky. So you know, in the future, you just gotta protect yourself. Look at it as just not the love that you have for them, but to protect yourself and your own money. Because again, people act funky. You know, people make promises based on the circumstances that they exist at the moment. But
mm-hmm.
circumstances like everything else change, and I'm assuming that's what Daryl Murray is
What the
going
fuck
to
happened?
say, and that's just, you know, it's fucked up both ways. But you know, that's what happens when you're not business savvy like that. Next thing we have, we're gonna talk some NFL preseason because ain't nothing going in the NBA right now. You know, what's some things that stuck out to you that really players that perked your ears, some teams that looked a little bit better maybe than what you thought in the preseason, some rookies that stood out. What do you got, Trey?
So, preseason week one again wrapped up last week. Preseason two is currently on underway with the Eagles and the Browns. But week one, no over. I don't want people overreacting. Let me first start off by saying that do not overreact to preseason, people. I don't care if it's week three or the first game. Do not overreact. It's preseason. These people are certain people are being evaluated for positions in general. Some of them are player battles. Let's not overreact. Let's let these people being coaches, evaluate and do their job, and let the players do what they need to do by earning these their responsible positions. Let me start off by saying that.
Hold on before
But
you go further, because I want to add. Were you going to continue that point, or
no,
can I add on?
go ahead. Go
Okay,
ahead.
I really want to add on that point because I can't tell you how many influencers or pages on TikTok or social media of people trying to use preseason games to say that the rookies they didn't think were going to be NFL ready weren't good, such as Anthony Richardson or C.J. Stroud or Bryce with the Panthers. Like, I'm sick of seeing that. Or just using a preseason game period as a validation for your hot takes that you already made in the season. Like, I get everybody, we miss football. Trust me, I miss football. I miss sitting down on Sundays, Thursday nights, Monday nights. I miss it. But that's not a reason to use preseason games as proof that you're right or you're a genius. It's pathetic, actually. And honestly, it's just showing how desperate you are for followers. To be honest, any preseason content I'm tired of seeing on social media already because it's just people desperate for clicks and I get it. Hell, we want more followers and whatnot. Like, I get that aspect, but it just looks desperate and pathetic. I'm tired of it. Go ahead. My bad.
Moving on from that spill or slash rant, to answer the question about what stood out to me about that week one, I would say would have to be Jordan Love and the Packers. Seeing him actually work in that offense and move the ball efficiently, I think it's a relief a little bit because again we are worried about how the Packers are going to look without Aaron Rodgers. It's been freaking over a decade of Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers, and now Aaron Rodgers for so long to pretty much a no-name quarterback. So again, it is going to look different at first, but I think again Jordan Love is up to the task, and I like what I saw from him so far.
I saw a graphic that I saw a graphic that had Brett Favre in the background, Aaron Rodgers, and then they had Jordan Love like coming through as if they're like the three great quarterbacks of Green Bay. It was funny, man. I had to share it with you. Anybody else for you?
Uh, the
What about your
Panthers
own team?
need
What about your own team? Is there anybody that you thought did good, or you were with the Broncos?
Denver. I mean, defensively, I think um Stearns, the safety. I do think they're gonna. I do like what I'm seeing from him. Opposite of Justin Simmons, I think he's gonna be our new strong safety. He's really a free safety, but because of Kareem Jackson's age, I think they're gonna put him as a starter. So I do like what I'm seeing from him. To bolster that secondary. So I do like that.
Gotcha. Um, I would say the first person that really I saw that did good, and I just like what I saw. I think I'm a hop on the Deuce Vaughn hype train. I know he's a very small running back, and I get it, but I like what I'm talking about, the running back for the Cowboys.
Cowboys, thought so. Okay,
He's
yeah.
like 5'5" or fucking
Yeah.
5 foot. I don't know
Little
what he
Darren
is.
Sproles Jr.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Darren Sproles Jr. Exactly what I thought of too. I really liked. It's cute, little running back running, but like that's not why I liked it. I thought he was really good at missing tackles. Like he had two guys that literally just collided into each other because he made a miss. It was a brilliant play. And again, he's playing against people out there that's probably going to be third stringers. I get that. But I really like the motor he ran with. I like how fast he got upfield. Those are all good things I want to see. You get a lot of running backs in preseason that want to dance around. And he just got the business. He just got out there and gave him that footwork and made a whole bunch of people miss. The second person that I really like to see, George Pickens. And I pay attention to Steelers a little bit. I've been hearing some things in camp where pretty much he's like the only motherfucker that's catching touchdowns and it's like back to back. We're seeing videos come out, and he did the same thing he did in practice as he did in the preseason game, and I think that when you have both of those things going, so good, some good momentum going into the season. That's what you want to see. He had a really good touchdown in that preseason game that just made me really excited. He's a master. You turning his body and manipulating it at angles to catch the ball, just fascinating stuff. Another person from my own team, Malik Cunningham, just came out there and was making shit happen, being one of the highest undrafted players ever. Um, I think Bill sees what he sees. I hope they don't use him as like a receiver in practice and just like whatever, or as a running quarterback decoy or some shit like that. I keep hearing that.
Mm.
I would really like to see him battle it out with Bailey Zappi and Mac Jones. I honestly have a chance. I don't think either way we're fucked at quarterback. So I'm not too concerned about it. But like I would like to see a good quarterback battle at the end of the day. And one person that really concerned me, I'm gonna bring it up, is the Broncos offense. Russell Wilson. Just I know you're gonna hate me for this. But I didn't like how non-smooth it was. There was nothing fluid about the offense. I like that glass, by the way. I'm buttering you up before I get to my shit. Didn't, it just didn't look fluid. The offense didn't, every time I just kept seeing this man get the brakes beat off of him. It kept me in the head. It doesn't look like a good offense. And yes, it is preseason, but I believe how rough it was last year, how rough it's looking now, and if I see it in week 1, where there's smoke, there's fire, and I know he's trying to learn a new offense, I get it. But where there's smoke, there's fire, and that is a fact.
I like your comment back to your New England guy. I do think that's the new Julian Edelman that Bill
Malik
Belichick is
Cunningham,
going.
put some respect on my man's name.
Bill Belichick is going to find these no-name people and make them look good because that's what he does. That's why he's one of the best coaches ever.
Well, I need him to find a first-round wide receiver and actually be good. So make that happen, please. But go ahead.
Right. And to comment on the Russell Wilson, it's preseason. I'm done defending this guy. I just let the stats talk when the regular season starts and it's time to let Russ cook in his new offense. I will be ready.
Trey, I'm with you. You've heard me talk about the Broncos. I think Russell would do good, but it's like every time I'm seeing him, it's not looking good. Okay, at what point are we hitting the panic button? If as a Broncos fan and someone who obviously believes they're going to do good, and I want them to do good, as a person that's in that circle, when do we hit the panic button? When do we hit the nukes?
Week 12.
If what's the record we're hoping to have?
If we're not, we have to be above 500 and we have to be at least 2 games over. So if by week 12 we have to be at least 7. I mean, if I forgot what week is our bye week. Let's say if our bye week happened already, we have to be at least 7-4, 7-5 going into week 13. If we're not there, we're not gonna make the playoffs, and it's not looking good because we have an easy early schedule and the back end is more difficult. So again, it's more. I say week 12.
Got you. I'm with you. I'm gonna be a little scared if y'all like 1-3 or like 2-4.
Absolutely, because our first 3 games are freaking. Yes, absolutely. I would be. I'm not gonna hold you. Our first 4 or 5 games.
I'm just wondering.
It's Raiders and then who the fuck is the second game? It's Raiders and then Commanders. And they're both home games. We should win both of those. We should start 2-0.
Schedule. I'm gonna take a peek for myself.
Hey, I know this because of Madden 24. Go drop it. The game is ass though, but go get
it. I've heard terrible things. What's your biggest criticism of Madden while we're talking about it and while I'm looking at this?
The feel of the game is they change it every year to make it feel more realistic. which again, it does make the animations a little bit more real. But then some of the shit, of course, when you try so hard, there's always a back end and there's some bullshit on the back end. For instance, you could be up, a receiver could be 5 yards in front of somebody, and he could like it's an easy catch and run to the end zone. But if somebody touches him from behind, the motherfucker drops it. That's bull. That is bull, and Matt needs to fix that. But of course, they said, "Oh, people could come from behind and pluck it out while they're trying to catch it." I want to know how many corners you really think is that good to do that. It's about 3 of them in the league. That ain't happening.
Speaking of that, I heard 2K is going back to like a dunk meter, and pretty much if you don't get it, like
Green, it ain't going in. Yeah.
a wide open dunk is not gonna be automatic, which is fucking stupid. Why the fuck does a pro NBA player have to get a fucking dunk meter hit right? Like that shit should be judged right. Now I get if you got a fucking little cat, and he's not the best dunker in the universe. But like fucking if I got DeAndre Ayton or Joel Embiid, like that shit should be an automatic fucking dunk. But yeah, I know we're going a little bit everywhere. But the first three, well, you guys got quite an easy 4 game schedule. You got the Raiders first. That should be a dub. Commanders. I kind of see you guys in the same category as Commanders, unless Russell Wilson just comes up busting my defenses up. But Commanders, the way you're talking, should be a dub. Dolphins without Jalen Ramsey is an iffy game. Then you got the Bears, that should be a dub for you, and then you got the Jets. That if the Jets are everything what everybody's saying, then you guys got a rough fucking Jets and then Chiefs. That's gonna be a rough little stretch, but you guys got the Chiefs twice in a 3 game stretch. That fucking sucks.
Yep, get them out the way early, so we ain't gotta worry about them later. Like I said, I think by then we'll know what they're made out of. Based off of that, we'll know what they're made out of. So that's why I say Week 12.
You got some top end teams, you got some low end teams. You should. I agree with you. I would say in that first 6 to 8 games, you guys should be 50-50 at least. And if you're under, maybe a game under, I would still be hopeful. But anything under that, I'd be kind of a little pretty worried about. And if you win one of those fucking Kansas City games, if you guys do, I think that gives you some fucking confidence, at least.
It's been 7 years, my guy. 7 years.
With that being said, let's talk about these running back signings that we have. Some big names. We have my team, the New England Patriots. You can see on the shirt. Signing Ezekiel Elliot. Trey, I don't mind getting your opinion first because we're probably going to disagree on this. Go ahead.
I think Zeke going there was a waste of time. That team is not competing anytime soon, and he knows that, but he's only there for a 1-year deal, so he doesn't really care about the future. It's also, I feel like it's just like a tryout to kind of show and prove to the rest of the league that he can do something in a effective offense, kind of, but again, their offense sucks. So I think it was a waste of time for him to go there. He could have went to a better team, let alone you're going to be split in the backfield anyway, which is what you was trying to avoid, but in a way, you can't avoid splitting a backfield in today's league. So him going to New England, I don't think was the best choice. I think it was possibly one that was just giving him kind of the money he was looking for, but I think it was a waste. I don't think that was a good fit.
What type of running back do you think he is in this league? Like, do you think he's the top 20, top 15, top 10 type of back?
Ezekiel Elliott is definitely a top 15 running back. Definitely top 15. I wouldn't say top 10. 2 years ago, I would say top 10, but recently, I mean, he's been being outperformed in his own backfield when he was with the Cowboys. So I would say top 15. And again, I would classify him as an elusive back. So not necessarily a power back or a speedster, because he's not a speedster. Excuse me. I would definitely say more of a elusive back and kind of downhill. Like, again, if he gets going, he needs more touches. The game goes along and he produces better. But obviously with the limited touches that he's going to be getting, I think you're kind of holding him back. But again, I think it's a new day and age for running backs. That's the way they're making it out to be.
Yeah, I respect everything you said. I respect it. Do I agree with it? Fuck no. I think that as a Patriots fan, I have to give our viewers a unbiased opinion, and that's exactly what I'm gonna give. With that being said, I do think this is a good signing, but not for the reason that a lot of people think that it's a good signing. A lot of people think that he should, he's going to come in, he's going to be the starting back. If he's the starting back, and I get he's making starter money, but we got a fucking issue. Like, if he's getting 75, I would say if he's getting 60% of the carries, we're fucked. Like, as a Patriots team, we're fucked. We're talking about a running back whose production has decreased 3 years in a row from a guy who was a little bit 12. I think his max was like 1,200 yards a year, and it is every year keeps going down for the last 3 years. That's a problem. We know he has weight issues. Let's be honest. He's like the James Harden of the NFL. Like, if we being real, the bright side is he does have his back to school haircut. He's got his Patriots fade going. You got that going
He
for him.
said the back to school haircut. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Go
Like,
on.
you know those little signs you give your kids where it has like, oh, my favorite food, what grade they're going to, their teacher's name and shit. Like, if he had a picture of that, I think it'd be fucking hilarious on the first day of like his first time in training camp for the Patriots. And we're getting a running back who has weight issues in the middle of fucking training camp, in the middle of preseason. That's not a good sign, because you want someone with weight issues to already be out there. Hopefully he's been training, but like, you want him out there sweating with everybody else. And I get it's fucking New England, and it's not the hottest place on the earth. It's not fucking Texas, but like, you want him out there at least working out and getting in season shape. So hopefully he's been doing that. That is a concern that I do have. But I think that he is a great. If he is, Ramondre Stevenson should be the starting back, and he should get the most of the carries. What in my vision for this happening, which I don't know if me and Bill don't always see eye to eye. I'm talking like I'm on the coaching staff.
Absolutely.
It is that I see Zeke stealing red zone carries, and that's exactly what he should be doing. They're about the same weight, same height, but Zeke is just the better goal line back, and I want that happening. I want Ramondre to break off for huge 30-yard, 50-yard runs. I remember last year seeing a stat about how bad Zeke was and how many few breakout runs he had for 10-plus yards. If we're getting that same running back that was last year, then damn right Ramondre Stevenson better be the starting back. And Zeke's not there. So he can get his touchdowns. If he came around, we remember what LeGarrette Blount did when he was the goal line back for the Patriots. He had the most touchdowns in a season by a running back. I believe it was something like 22 or something. Maybe I'm off on the number, but it was something crazy. If Zeke takes that rollover, fuck yeah, I'm all on board for it. But if he's going to be starting back and he's getting most of the carries, it's not a good thing. And I'll leave it at that when it comes to Zeke. But if they're going to use him how I would use him, and granted I'm not on that coaching staff, but I think the best way to use them is exactly what I said. So that's where I'm at with it. Yeah. Next topic we have. Do you have anything against what I said, or do you not agree with it?
I'm just glad you're not on their coaching staff, because that was just a terrible hire. But no, other than that, no.
No, well, he's not getting that fucking much. He's getting $4 million a year. Oh God, we got plenty of cap space. I believe. Anyways, Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook has signed with the New York Jets. Damn, Hard Knocks is gonna be off the fucking chain. They got a big name at running back again. Jets fans are shooting fireworks up in the sky at the moment. Fucking, by the way, coming from a fellow Patriots fan. But Trey, what are you thinking, man? What are you thinking?
I feel bad for them when they get to the playoffs and lose their first fucking game. They're creating this freaking super team in the NFL. How James Harden, KD, and Kyrie did with Brooklyn, and thinking that it's all going to mesh, in one season and all this extra. It's first thing. It's football. It's not going to happen that way. All of y'all people got egos, and when things don't go y'all way, y'all start looking at who to blame. I just don't like this. I just don't like it. It's like it's a cop out in a way. It's just like, let me find the easiest road to try to win. And let's be real. Has that ever happened for anybody in the NFL? Name me one the last time a Super Bowl champ found the, let alone on offense we're talking about, that let's just stack up on offense and try to win a Super Bowl. That has never really happened and worked out. But the fact that you think that's going to work out, Dalvin, have fun with that. I hope you get all the touches that you want and all that. But I don't like the fitting. I think let me try to get a ring real quick, and then I'm gonna go wherever the hell I want after that and try to get some money. But it was stupid. Like, Brees Hall is there already. I know he's coming off an injury. Um, I think that's going to set back his development too. Because again, we can't just think about just the physical aspect. We also got to think of the mental, and that's what a lot of people don't think about the NFL and football is the mental aspect of the game. And I think that's going to set him back in his development. And yeah, I don't like it. I just don't.
Trey, I'm starting to sense some jealousy coming from you, man. Like the way the way you say things, the little accent, the little bit of attitude, little sassiness coming from just sense of jealousy is what I'm smelling coming from you. Is that true?
He had better options.
Such as where do you think he should have went? I'm just pushing you forward.
I do think Miami was a better fit. I mean, clearly they need a number one back, and you would have been the number one back instead of it's a hands down. This is your job to take, rather than more 60-40 you, because I think the offense is going to favor him. He is going to be the number one, but I think it's going to be 60-40 or 55-45 rather than if he would have went to Miami, it would have been 70-30. Like, I just think you had better options if you was really wanting to uh bolster the fact that you wanted the ball more, you wanted to play more. That was a better option rather than what you chose.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
who else? The Bills. I know your brother's there, and I don't see that you're only getting a 1 year deal. The only thing you're seeking is a 1 year deal. I don't see why that's a bad option. They need a running back. Your brother wasn't the solution last year. Not to say he can't develop because he is young, but you could have helped him with that development for a year rather than possibly. Brees Hall is better than your brother. So you don't need Brees Hall doesn't need you. So let's not sit here and say, oh, he's going to set back his brother the same way you say he would with Brees Hall. Brees Hall is a beast. They don't need him. The Bills need a running game. We all know the Bills can't win a playoff game because they don't have a running game. You get what I'm going here? I think you get where I'm going
You
here.
know, I agree with you. I'm gonna take what you said a little bit further because
Uh-huh.
I felt like I said this on my TikTok page. Whatever, who gives a fuck about TikTok? But I said in my page, this move from the Jets signing Dalvin Cook felt like a big fuck you to the entire AFC East because this happened 2 hours before this. I saw the Zeke signing to us. I'm like, I feel like we had the best backfield in the league. To be honest with you, between Zeke and Ramondre Stevenson, and a guy named Pierre Strong. A lot of people don't know about. He's a sleeper, but I felt like we had the biggest and best AFC or just NFL backfield. And then, sure fucking enough, 2 hours later, the fucking Jets signed this man, and I'm like, well, what that's out the fucking window. So that was a big fuck you to the Patriots. And then the whole time we keep hearing Dalvin Cook to Miami, Dalvin Cook to Miami. They really need him. They need him. They need him. For fuck you, I'm not going to fucking South Beach. Okay, I'm not taking my talents there. LeBron, shout out to him. Uh, And then, you got the Bills who obviously need him, and they have the brother. That's the sales pitch. I have James Cook. You should complete with your brother. And I think it's kind of smart because he says, fuck you to them. I'm still going to see my brother because our teams are in the same state, even though they play in technically different states. But, I'm still going to be in the vicinity of my brother. And I'm going to be able to be the starter, and I have a chance to win the Super Bowl. A good chance of winning the Super Bowl. So it's a big fuck you to the AFC East. And I thought, man, the Jets pitch to Aaron Rodgers and the Jets pitch to Dalvin Cook is something you gotta praise because they're getting these guys.
They didn't pitch that, man. Stop lying. They said, bro, do you want a ring or not? Come on. They sit there and had their normal practice, and he came there and he showed up. They had their normal practice. They said, hey, if you want to practice, you can join if you want, but you don't have to. And they sat there and was just like, this is what we have. You know what you got to go up against in the AFC East. What's your options? You're going to be with us or against us? And he was just said, okay, I'm going to be a little pussy, and I'm going to join y'all because I think you guys... What? He didn't do it obviously that day.
I absolutely disagree. You know what I think happened? This is what I think happened. Who has a show that exposes their whole team and what it's like? The fucking Jets. God. And they have Hard Knocks. Think about it from a business standpoint. You have a show who puts your team in the best light. You see Aaron Rodgers. Have you seen the episode 1? I sent it to you, so you should have watched it, fuck ass. But I know you didn't because you procrastinate shit. Anyways, I know you didn't watch it, but if you did, they're putting Aaron Rodgers as a god. They're painting him as a god. The great team camaraderie. Fucking Robert Saleh is the wise owl coach, and they're putting this team in the brightest light. He had this entire time to pick a team. He's been a free agent for a month and a half, maybe 2 months. He could have picked a team any point. Instead, you get, if you really think about it, the Hard Knocks episode comes out. The second one's out too, but that was whatever. He got to see this team in a light. He got to see an insider, however the production, how they produce it. They get to see this team in the best light and how it looks, and the most talented team. And I felt like he watched that and was like, that's the team I need to go to. Because we've seen the Jets have been, we haven't heard Dalvin Cook in the Jets this entire time until he signs with them. So that to me is telling me that Hard Knocks was a influence on his decision.
I can't believe I'm hearing from a grown man that you thought this professional athlete is going to watch a freaking TV show and make his decision based off of a TV show. That's the dumbest shit I've ever fucking heard you say.
I swear to God.
That's the dumbest shit I ever heard you say.
Think about it.
That was fucking idiotic.
Nothing else is giving you an inside show of another team. You don't really know what the team is like. You can talk to players, but they're only going to give you so much information. But when you actually see it, as creatures, we are visual creatures, okay? We love things.
Yes, he went there. He didn't need to watch a TV show.
No, he saw the fucking show. I'm telling you, man.
Oh, my God.
So you telling me he signed to this team and he didn't watch the TV show that this team's featured on?
No, because he was there in person. You don't need to see that. You can ask whatever you need to then. You don't need to sit there and watch a TV show.
But that's what I'm saying is that genuinely you get to see them. When you go there in person, they're like pitch selling you. They're literally like, hey, you should come here. Or like, yeah, you can eat all the fucking M&Ms in the cafeteria you want. I don't give a fuck. Like, whatever. But like, you actually get to see without a non-biased vision, quote unquote.
Bro, I knew he was going there the moment he became a free agent. He knew he wasn't going to Miami. He knew he wanted to be there because it was the easiest road. Get over it.
I really thought Miami were big players just because of it being in Florida and him going to Florida State. I really thought they had a chance. You got Tyreek Hill, you got Waddle, you got a really good defense over there in Miami. I really thought they were big players. So I'm kind of disappointed that he didn't go there, to be honest.
You and everybody else, because it was a pussy move.
You're fucking crazy. All right, big pussy. I don't know what the fuck I'm thinking about. Anyways,
Oh, what the fuck?
You said it, and I was about to about to say a little thing, but I just felt it was a little inappropriate, so I didn't say it. With that being said, guys, check us out. Our streaming schedule right now is 9 o'clock. We're probably gonna change it again after 7:30. We talked about it, but we will let you guys know. We're trying to find something consistent. But I'm in the middle of moving, and I'm a free agent when it comes to job stuff because I'm obviously moving. So I don't have a job right now. So until we have that scheduled, we can come up with a stern schedule. Until then, we'll let you guys know. But until then, just make sure you guys come follow us, and we will let you guys know what the streaming schedule looks like. Make sure you follow us too for content, reels, long form video content on YouTube. And check us out on Kick and YouTube Live for our live streams. We are going to try to be a little bit more consistent with you guys. But, at the end of the day, we got families, grown men. It is what it is. But we are dedicated to give you good content, and you will get a show every damn week, if I have to sacrifice my body. Okay? Big pussy. Just keep doing that. Keep big pussy. All right. Anyways, with that being said, we have a Drake's. God, that is so terrible to go from that to a freaking sponsorship commercial. We have a DREADSOCK sponsorship commercial that is about to play. We are thankful for the people at DREADSOCK for sponsoring this show, giving us the opportunity to show what their product is about. With that being said, check out this commercial and go. Alright guys, we are back for the second half of the show and the big juicy stuff. Before we get there, thank you to DREADSOCK again for the commercial. Make sure you check out DREADSOCK.com. Make sure you check out their Instagram page. Go buy some merch. If you got locks or you got a protective hairstyle, make sure you buy something off of them. Keeps your hair lint free at night or anything else. Reduce the frizz, whatever you got going on. Keep the do straight. We can't relate, but oh, that was a bar, bro. That was a bar. Anyways,
who can't relate? Don't be throwing me under that bus like that. That's you.
Go ahead, take it off. Take it off. Come on, take it off.
I'm good.
We're already in the middle of it. Just take it off. Just show the people the shine. Show the shine. Okay, look, there you go. I got a little shine going on. Got some lighting situation going on. It's the best.
Oh, look, he likes y'all. I don't like y'all like that. So
you crazy. All right. Anyways, with that being said, let's get into the NFC East. I'll let you do your order last time from worst to best. So I guess I'll take it this time. First team we're going to talk about, I think it's consistent, and if you say otherwise, you are missing a chromosome. The Commanders or Redskins or what the fuck you want to call them, I don't really care. I keep hearing about this little petition to change them back to Redskins. But yeah, so they are the worst team in this NFC. NFC East. Jesus Christ, we just got done talking about the AFC East. Anyways, Commanders are the worst team. They have, coincidentally, the worst quarterback. They ain't far from it with Daniel Jones. But anyways, Sam Howell. Sam Howell is not a good quarterback at all. He barely... if it says anything, Carson Wentz started over him last season. I mean, granted, that was a mistake in itself. But if you're deciding between Carson Wentz and another quarterback... What did I just say? Did I say
Sam Howell? Yeah, you said Carson Wentz and Sam Howell.
Oh, I thought I said Sam Wentz or some stupid shit. Anyways, if you're deciding between Carson Wentz and Sam Howell, you're probably not in a good space anyway. But the defense in terms of yardage, was a top 10 defense. They just gave up a lot of touchdowns really often and were really bad in the red zone. But other than that, they stopped teams from going up and down the field. They just, when they got to the red zone, it just was really bad. And then, two, you got some weapons in Terry McLaurin. You also got old scary Terry. You got what's his name? The running back.
Antonio Gibson,
No,
Doxson.
nope.
Who else? Who are you talking about?
The running back. He's the starter. Freaking. Hold on. Give me a second. Gibson's not gonna be the starter this year.
I'm aware of that, which is I think is a
The
bad
50
decision.
Cent, the motherfucker that got shot. Brian Robinson Jr. See, I got so much shit that goes on in my head. Brian Robinson Jr. had a decent year last year, and the expectation is that he has an even better season this year coming up. With that being said, Trey, I'm assuming you agree with me they're the worst team, to give some reasons. Maybe some
They
pushback.
are the worst team in this division. I do think if they had a decent quarterback, for instance, if they had an even close to Jared Goff-ish quarterback, I think they can be close to 50. I think, or 500 rather, excuse me. I think they can be close to 500. I do think because of their defense, um, their defensive line is, I'm trying to think of the division. Let me think before I speak.
What?
Well, their defensive line, being including their defensive tackle and defensive ends,
Yep.
they have, in my opinion, the second best defensive line in this division. And I say that very, very strongly. I think it's a sleeper, but because again of their offense and being on the field too long, their defense does allow points. And again, they just don't have anything going offensively. I do think them getting um, Eric, excuse me if I butcher his last name, Bahimi, whatever the hell you want to call him, from Kansas City. I do think getting him and giving him a chance at offensive coordinator completely and letting him do the play calling will hopefully energize this offense, but I still think Sam Howell isn't enough. So just be prepared to get a quarterback in free agency next year or out of the draft. But I would say next year we'll be having a different conversation, depending on who they get as a quarterback. But they are the worst team this year in this division.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. At first I thought it was a disservice to this team that they didn't draft a quarterback that could possibly be a starter because they definitely had opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
But I think as soon as they didn't do that, they omitted this season. Like they know they're gonna suck, and a lot of people are trying to speak it into existence that Sam Howell is gonna be a good quarterback. But if that's the hill you want to die on, feel free. Cause I don't see it. He was good at UNC, but like I'm not gonna like put all my chips in on Sam Howell. I think they already know that they're gonna be a worst team. I wouldn't push it past them if they tank a little bit. If we're being honest,
Mm-hmm.
you can speak all that into, but the better they do, the worse chance they have at a quarterback that is gonna really lead this team. So my thing is they're probably gonna take a little bit. Also, you talked about the defensive line. They did invest in the secondary, getting Emmanuel Forbes from Mississippi State. He's a good cornerback, top 10 quarterback in this draft. Um, they took him a little bit higher than what I would, but whatever. Um, so they are investing really in that defense. But as we know in the NFL, the offense fills that ticket. I mean, fills those seats and sells those tickets, and somehow isn't selling your jerseys. I hate to say it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and, go ahead.
The sleeper person, and this is just my opinion. Sleeper trade that could happen before the start of the season. I would even say before the start of the season. Trey Lance to them. Trey Lance to Commanders for a third round or a second round pick. And again, even if it's mid season, I could see that at the trade deadline and them saying Trey Lance, here's the key to the team. Just keep an eye on that. I'm saying it now because I do think giving Eric Bahimi, I'm gonna call him, even though I think it's behind me. Giving
BM.
him, yeah, that even giving him a mobile quarterback that can throw and that needs to be let free. I think he'll be able to unleash him. So just keep that in mind. I'm saying it now on episode 13. I'm saying it now. I do think Trey Lance to Commanders is a possibility.
Well, I mean, I also think it's kind of hard to have a good offense when your receivers are crying about Eric Bieniemy and the way he's coaching them up. Like this
Yeah.
generation is so fucking soft. Like the fact that we got to hear, oh, he the way he phrases things hurts my feelings. Like, I'm all for. I'm not the. I want to be the old dude. Like, this generation sucks. But like, at some point, football is
Sucks.
football, man. Like my coach
It
used to tell
sucks.
me, my my coach used to tell me to put my dick in the dirt to fucking tackle. Okay,
Oh shit, I'm
my
crying.
coach had so many fucked up nicknames for my teammates. Like I couldn't repeat it on stream, and that says a lot because we say some crazy shit. But like it's fucking soft. I'm not a really like, hey, everybody's soft type of guy, but like that to me, that just that speaks volumes. That pissed me off. I just wanted to touch on that because you made me think about it.
I recall reading that too. I recall reading that.
Speaking of that, is Sam Howell that guy? What type of season do you think would be a win for him?
7 games. But let's be real, that's not gonna happen. Again, we're talking about Sam Howell. He's not mobile. He's more of a
They say he is
um
mobile. They say he's mobile. They say he's more. They say he's more mobile than like Baker Mayfield is what they say.
I don't even know if I should respond to that or not. Anyway,
I
he's
keep
not
seeing
mobile.
it.
Um yeah, I just seven wins is a decent season, but again, is it gonna make you the solidified starter for next year? No. So I at that point your job is at jeopardy. So
I'm be honest. I'm surprised that he's getting the start over Brissett. To be honest with you, Brissett ain't
come
great.
on.
Brissett
Yeah, he's
isn't
not a
great.
starter. He's not a starter.
But who
Jacoby's not a
has
starter.
but who has the most experience? Let's be honest.
I
I
mean,
would take
clearly, yeah, he's been in the league for like 30 years and has been a backup his whole career. Come on.
but he started more games and he has more experience, and so I would take that over Sam Howell, which tells me even more that they are planning on tanking because I don't see Sam Howell being that guy. And if you really want to give yourself a chance, I guess it's a Hail Mary by playing Sam Howell is what they're trying to put out there. So if that's the thought process, I get it. But Brissett has the, he's not. Brissett isn't a game breaker. Like we know this. He's not even close. He's barely a starter, but he did decent with the Browns last year. Um, but I guess they're taking Hail Mary somehow. I guess that's the route they're going.
Jacoby's ceiling, and you don't know Sam's what he could possibly do. So I get that's the smarter move. I feel like if you was smart, fucking Denver would have did that with Drew Lock and let him play a whole season rather than fucking the bullshit that it did with him. Like again, you know what your backup is capable of. He's a backup. He's a solidified backup. He'll always be a backup. He's okay being a backup. Just let the younger person play, and if he will, you'll know his ceiling and his cap by the end of the season. It's that simple.
So, question: do they get rid of? I think this is a very important conversation. I think a lot of people are not thinking about, but like it's out there. So, do they fire Ron Rivera at the end of the season, or are they going to keep
Absolutely
just holding
not.
on to him?
Absolutely not. No, you don't have a quarterback. It's not even a fair chance. You saw what he could do with the quarterback when he had Cam. No, it's not even a fair chance. Not absolutely not.
At the
The
same
team
time,
is.
we've seen coaches get fired.
I mean, I wouldn't fire him. I know what he's capable of. I know he runs a tough
Yeah.
defense. He's more of a defensive minded coach. Um, and again, the defense is going to be good, and it shows you even last year when they sucked, they were still able to beat teams like the Eagles last year. So again, it's not him. It's absolutely not. That would be misleading by the owner sitting there sending that message saying we're going to fire him, knowing that he hasn't had anybody to lead this team completely. I think it's misleading and it's misguiding in the sense of what actually is your direction for this team.
I 100% agree with you. I wouldn't fire him, but it's floating out there. Before we go to our next team, I thought it was interesting enough. I just got a notification. I'm just gonna read it and let me know what you think. Okay. Tyreek Hill says he doesn't watch film. Instead, he plays Madden the night before a game to check the ratings of the cornerbacks he'll be facing. I see their awareness, their speed, their strength, and that's how I get a good tell on them.
He's
What you think,
lying.
big dog? What you
He's
think?
lying. He is a gamer. He does play a lot of Madden. And I know that from his just being aware of in the gaming world, his status in that uh just in that world. Um, but he's fucking lying. He definitely watches film. Um, yeah, that's bullshit. That's just him talking.
I, I hope so, man. Because if not, my biggest concern, and maybe I'm an old man for this, but like, what's the message it's sending to the fucking younger generation that you're proud of saying that in the public eye? You know what I'm saying? Like, I want my kids hearing that shit. Like, I don't want you in the fucking watching tape. I want
You,
you to be dedicated to your shit, not fucking playing Madden. Like, motherfuckers, that's what I'm saying. Everybody think they play Madden nowadays and be alright. You know what I'm saying? Or play
You
2K.
sounded like the old guy complaining on the porch about the cat drinking milk. Look at this cat drinks some milk. Look at this. Somebody can look at this. Whose man's is this, man?
Why is the scat pack rooming down my street? Motherfuckers can't
What
find
the
another street.
what the
Rooming around.
hell? No,
Fucking,
that's just him talking nonsense. Nothing.
I hope so. It's
Third,
probably gonna be
third,
made more about it. Go ahead.
third. It was on you. It's your
Oh,
list first.
I have the second worst, or what's the number three team I think in the NFC East is the New York Giants. Uh, they believe they have their franchise quarterback in Daniel Jones. Uh, they also think that they don't need Saquon Barkley signed to a long term deal or pay him the money that he would like. Uh, you got a coach who, on the bright side of things, did the most with not a lot last year, and they survived. And they did what they could. Um, and again, he just made the best out of things. Um, with that being said, the defense is young and up and coming. Last few years really invested into the defense. Um, you invested in the receivers for once with Jalen Hyatt from Tennessee, who's a fucking Sonic the Hedgehog down the sideline. You got some bright parts on this team. Overall, this team looks better than it did last season based on talent, specifically the draft. That's just what they've been doing. I got to give it to them. They're doing better, but I am not a big believer in Daniel Jones, and I don't like the fact that it just looks bad, and that again, it's another offense that does better when the running back's on the field than the quarterback. When Saquon Barkley's doing fucking wildcat formation, the offense does fucking better. That's just a fact. Than Daniel Jones behind center. It just is what it is. He's got some wheels, and they abuse the fuck out of Daniel Jones running the ball. I'm not a big believer in Daniel Jones. There are some people that's hardcore on Daniel Jones. I don't see it. I don't get one bit. He has improved. This is what they like to say. He has improved year to year, and that he is on the way up. We saw it at Duke. He wasn't that guy, and he's not that Duke that they moved up in the draft to get him. He's not that guy at all. He's not the pocket passer that teams want. And he's not that good of a runner to be just a running quarterback. Like, he's at meh at both. And he tries to do a little bit of everything. I'm curious what you think, Trey, just because I want to bounce off of that. Because I'm not It's just not much I would like to say about the team, to be honest.
I could tell because you just dragged out talking about Daniel Jones for the last 5 minutes, and I'm sorry, stranger.
Because I
I
can't
observed
fucking
that.
stand them, but like, there's nothing. God,
Of course you can't stand them. They beat y'all twice in the Super Bowl.
that's not it.
I think the
Eli Manning, I
Giants
hate.
are. I
Fuckers.
think they. I like the coaching. I do like the coaching. I do think he made the best out of nothing last year. Like you said, I do like that point. I think he's going to continue to do that, and they will continue to be a playoff team. Like I said, they continue to get younger. They're investing in their line. They Dexter Lawrence is not going anywhere. Did I say Dexter Lawrence?
Yep, yep. That's
Yeah,
it. That's it.
he's not going anywhere. Their line is really really good. Secondaries is but again, I think as long as they know the recipe, they're doing their recipe based off how they won in the past, and it's defensive line and um pretty much relying on your receivers. But again, you have to get somebody to throw them the ball, and I think Daniel Jones. I just need him to be again. I need him to be the hit that Alex Smith, Jared Goff, uh, cap hole or ceiling in the sense of just manage the game. I don't need you to be a superhero. We know what you can and cannot do. Just manage the game, give the ball to Saquon, and just do your job. That's it. That's all I think. I think that's all Giants fans. I don't think I met one Giants fan that said I like Daniel Jones. I don't think I met one, and I know a whole bunch. I'm from Jersey. I know a whole bunch, and I don't think I met one that said Daniel Jones can lead us to an NFC East title or the Super Bowl. I don't think I heard that ever. So with that being said, they just need you to do your job. Just do your job. Hand the ball off, shut up, and run like you when you're supposed to, and go out of bounds and stay healthy. That's it. Because obviously their backup is I don't even know who their backup is, but they definitely don't want to see the backup. But they sticking with you, so they don't have a choice.
Backup is Tyrod Taylor. Tyrod Taylor.
He can't stay healthy for shit. I don't think they want to see him on the field. So with that being said, just stay healthy, hand the ball off to Saquon, make it look like you're going to throw, and try to create some space for Saquon. I think that's all they ask for.
I'm gonna list the wide receivers because this is another big criticism. Like, you can't even tell if Daniel. This is honest. This is honestly what I really think. You can't tell if Daniel Jones is good or not because, to be honest, you don't got the talent there besides Darren Waller. And I'm the biggest Darren Waller guy there is. He's top 3 tight end. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. But I'm gonna list off the wide receivers, and these are the weapons that you're going into this year with. Isaiah Hodgins, Darius Slayton, he's okay. I'll give him that. Paris Campbell, he's Ohio State product. He's okay, but not the guy. He's not the guy. We know this. Sterling Shepard, bro, hurt more than any fucking body I know. Jalen Hyatt, who I already talked about. Jamison, Old Man Crowder. Everybody else isn't worth talking about because I've never heard their names on them before. So that just tells me there's no. You're not really investing into Daniel Jones. You're gonna keep trying to do more with less, and that's why I'm hard on the guy, man. Like, you give him the.
And this is why Saquon wants his money.
Yeah, he want, but I mean, it doesn't even matter even with Saquon because the offense just isn't gonna be that good. Even like Saquon, because they're gonna run him into the ground, and so they really don't. They have a reason not to pay him again. Like, this is all this is, man. This is bullshit with the Giants. Darren Waller has injury issues too, so you can't really. We're not sure if we can depend on him. Also, so I mean, you're gonna be down to your backup tight end. Shout out to the Giants. I don't see it happening. That defensive line though, for the Giants. Now I'm gonna list some names off on this because I think that these are some very big names. Okay, Alshon Robinson, big fucking. He's a boss. Dexter Lawrence, you already talked about him. He's a boss. A big factor when it comes on the defensive line. Leonard Williams came over from the Jets. Kayvon Thibodeau. I'm gonna fuck his name up.
Thibodeau, yeah,
But
fucking beast. That
where did
man's
he
a
play college?
Oregon,
I was gonna say
number
LSU
5,
just because of the last name,
Oregon.
but
Nah,
he was a beast
Oregon.
at Oregon because he played with
Yeah,
Herbert, right? He played with
yeah.
Herbert when Herbert was there. I expect him to be taking that
To blow
push.
up this year. I
Yeah,
agree.
yeah,
I
yeah. I
agree.
mean, he's right there. Um, secondary is iffy, but we'll go from there. But I mean, that defensive line I think is great from the starter's
Crazy,
perspective.
crazy. They trying to pull up what they did before. Again, when they had Justin Tuck, Michael Strahan, uh, OC you're like they trying to pull off what they did then. Just defensive line and secondary. Just
Shitty
look for the
quarterback.
ball.
Shitty
Yeah,
quarterback. I'm just fucking.
just not for. I mean, or decent. Again, we all know Eli wasn't the greatest, and he didn't have he never won like an MVP and shit like that. He just did his job. I think that's all they want from Daniel Jones. They're not asking him to go out there and be a Pro Bowl quarterback throwing 4 or 5,000 yards. They don't want that from him. They just want you to freaking manage the game and not turn the ball over. Like I can't. I'm so serious when I say that. That's all they're asking of him. And they think again because of his dual threat, because he is a dual threat, because he does run a lot.
Yep.
That they just like they're like we like that. You're throwing off other teams because of the simple fact. Let's be real. You're a white running quarterback. So I do think you're throwing off people. We know you can run, but the simple fact we're not really worried about it until you actually do it and you're six carries for 55 yards and it's just like, oh shit, maybe we should actually put a spy on this guy. Like that's when again you open up the game plan and you need to because look at the receivers you just named. You got
Yep.
nobodies. So I mean,
You,
they
you know what's unique about him too? He's not like the typical white running quarterback. Like he has speed, and it's not so dependent on acceleration and like elusiveness. He's got that long term speed. Like we saw what's that yardage on that touchdown he had when he fucking ran it. Pretty much, I think it was a 90-yard fucking
when he
running touch.
tripped over air or
Yeah,
against the
he
Eagles.
fucking he got sniped. He got sniped. Doo 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 doo. Bro got ankle snipe.
Bro, he looked like fucking Seabiscuit from Shark Tale. Like this, he tripped over nothing and then just clumsy. But again, that one play described Dave Jones' whole career. It's just like so far, like oh my god, you could be decent, but you just happen to just you happen to be a quarterback from Duke. I can't respect that. I just can't.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you on that. We're gonna go to my second best team in the NFC East, in the Dallas Cowboys, who I hate because I have some shitty cousins that are delusional Cowboys fans and the worst type of Cowboys fans, like the type that wear like the jorts, the jean shorts, and like rock Air Forces and shit, and like they wear the fucking polos and shit. And anyways, with that being said, you got the biggest topic on this. Let's go to Dak. Okay, let's talk about Dak. Uh, I'm in between on him. I think he's in that Russell Wilson category of can you bounce back or can you come back to show us that you're elite? That's what we want to see.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's not a weapons question because the weapons are there, right? You got Brandon Cooks, who is like the 1 year the traveling assassin for teams for 1 year and then goes to another team. You got CeeDee Lamb, who we're expecting to be a top 10 receiver this year. Um, I don't want to say we too much. You got fucking what's his name? Damn, Michael Gallup, who he's a year removed from that injury recovery, so he should be right back where he was, or maybe a little bit less. But for that receiving core, that is a great. You got Turpin too, who's a great elusive, speedy guy. You got plenty of weapons. You got Pollard running back. We talked about Dujovon earlier. Hopefully he'll be a factor. If he is, this offense is doing something. Uh, but I think Dak is going to give us what we all think, and it's going to be that top 15 performance. But it's going to be right there between the 10 and 15, spots where it's like it's straight, it's good, but like we're still thinking about what is he and what can he be. Is what I think. And then defense has talent, a little bit of talent at every position. Secondary straight that with Trayvon Diggs and Stephon Gilmore we talked about in another podcast before. Offensive line, the defensive line is the defensive line. It is what it is. They're going to give some pressures. They're going to be right there. Um, they got a little bit of talent every, spot. And I think that's the main reason why I put them at my second to best spot. The expectations are there. But at the end of the day, the Cowboys are going to cowboy. And they're going to fuck it up, whether it's in the playoffs or right there in week 17, 18, 16. That's where we're going to see the major fuck up at. And then, I hate to put that curse on a team because that's the easy to go to. But we've seen it so many times, it's hard to pivot away from. So, Trey, what are you thinking about the Cowboys?
I'm playing devil's advocate, and they're not my number two.
Whoa, okay. I got you. What's the
I
logic? What's the logic?
I think their offense is going to be. I agree with what you said about their offense, about it kind of being like you said, stagnant, and they have the roster on paper for it. They just got to put it all together on the field, and pretty much all of that is just on Dak. Dak has to have a bounce back season. I think he does. Um, I think he does what he needs to. I don't believe this all me. I believe obviously he's throwing picks or whatever in training camp. Who gives a fuck? It's practice. He's
Facts.
but
Facts.
nobody cares. Um, so I don't necessarily believe he's going to do that in the regular season. I do think again when it comes down to winning games, I do think that he's going to be able to do that and produce. Let alone he knows that his back is against the wall because of the big contract. So I do think um, he's going to be able to produce. Let alone I think the Eagles, the AFC, the NFC East in general, their schedule isn't easy like last year. Like the Eagles had a cakewalk of a schedule to the playoffs, and I don't because that's not the same this year. I do necessarily think now you're going to see have the Eagles playing a better teams as well as the Cowboys, and I think the Cowboys again are kind of used to that because of them being a prime time team. Their schedule always kind of being a little bit worse. I think they're going to be able to kind of show that now on a national stage a lot more against better teams.
Wait,
Um,
whoa. It just hit me. So you're saying that the Cowboys are going to be the number one team in the NFC East? Is that what you're saying?
yes, yes. Um,
Wow. Fuck it. I didn't
I
know Jerry Jones died. Fuck. That's the only way that will ever happen. But go ahead.
I think they're going to be the number. I think Dak's going to have a bounce back season. I think he's going to play good. And my main thing, honestly, I think Michael Parsons is going to have an MVP year. I think he's going to freaking tear the crap up. And I think their defense is. You have two legit corners now. Getting Stephon Gilmore, and again, we talked about that before about the whole mentoring of Trayvon Diggs and all of that. I think again he's going to be able to. They're going to be able to do a lot more blitzing, which opens up for Michael Parsons one on one, and he's unstoppable. And you still got Lawrence on the other side as well, and I just think they're going to be able to get the pressure that they freaking need. I truly do believe that. So, like I said, I think Michael Parsons is going to be an MVP candidate, a dark horse MVP candidate that people sleeping on because everybody talks about quarterbacks. But I think he's going to have a crazy season, and he's going to keep them relevant to the point where they're the number one in the NFC East.
What
So
what
I
type of
don't have them number two. I have them number one.
what type of stats are we talking with that? Are we talking
I
forty
mean,
two
four
hundred
thousand yards,
yards?
yeah, four thousand minimum yards. Um, I don't care about the picks as long as he has the touchdowns. He can have 15 picks as long as you got 30 to over 35 touchdowns. Who cares? Like a quarterback going to throw picks here and there. I'm not asking you to go out there and be freaking 40-8. You're not Aaron Rodgers. You're going to throw picks. You're going to take your gambles. That's cool. If you're gonna have 15 picks, you better have 35 touchdowns. That's it.
I can't believe. I mean, I understand you're wearing Cowboys colors, but I did not expect you to go that route. That's kind of crazy.
Actually,
Yeah, I just
I grew up in that household, so I kind of fake like Dallas a little bit.
I just have the hardest time believing that, like, I know there's an easy way out, but like every year it's the same thing with Dallas where a couple injuries happen, and then that puts some stress on Dak, and then he starts making these overthrows and these Superman fucking plays, and sometimes it looks really bad. And it's just it's always year in and year out. There's an excuse for the Dallas Cowboys. It just
Hmm.
is. It is a fact. Like something fucking happens. Like I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm anti fucking Cowboys. I try to give unbiased opinions, but like it's something's gonna happen. It's like my palms are itching. My palms are
Nah,
itching.
his palms is itchy.
You know what I mean? With that being said, the Eagles, the Eagles have came to dominate, and they are my number one team. My number one team on paper. My number one team in the. I'm not gonna say the league. I'm gonna put it on hold because I'll wait on that. But they're fucking up there. I think shit. They should have won the damn Super Bowl last year. I know we're talking about this year.
But it should have
Should have
would
won last year if they would have kept Jalen Hurts actually being a run threat, but they gave up on that. Or I think it's a coaching thing. I don't think it's a Jalen Hurts thing. But they stopped making him doing like design runs for Jalen Hurts. As soon as they stopped doing that, when they came out the second half, is when all the momentum switched to the Chiefs. And I think it kind of played right into the Chiefs' hands, and they obviously capitalized on it. Uh, I don't think that this will be as easy of a year for the Eagles because I mean, fuck, the Jalen Hurts barely played a fourth quarter in most of his games. If we're being honest, like they pulled him pretty early, which is why his MVP stats weren't there to actually win. It's true he did stop playing in the fourth quarters a
That
lot,
is
and they
not
was
why he
blowing
didn't
them
win
out.
MVP. Shut up. Stop
Huh?
lying to yourself.
What?
That is not why he did not win
That
MVP.
is
Stop
exactly why.
lying.
That is
Stop
exactly why.
lying. Stop
That's why.
lying.
That's why.
That's what you got to lie to yourself and say.
Okay. Well, you're hoping Dak wins the fucking MVP, so it doesn't fucking.
I didn't say that. I said Michael Parsons.
They're never gonna give that to a fucking defensive player. If they didn't give it to Aaron Donald or I'm sure who else would they give it to? They're not gonna give it to a defensive player. Either way, that we've all heard the defensive line is loaded for the Eagles. The secondary is back for them again.
Which is
Big
a
play,
lie. Their safeties are ass. But go on.
big play Slay. Okay, you got to make cornerback. He's gonna do his damn thing like he always does. Uh, you know, my friend, he's gonna play devil's advocate, but I'm gonna get right along with it. That team, Jalen Hurts. I'm MVP Jalen Hurts this year. Uh, which I will get to our. Speaking of that, we'll get to our. I'm just saying that right now. Don't hold me to it because we're doing our league awards next week. So make sure you stay tuned and watch that. I just don't see a weakness in this Eagles team unless they have some major situation. Like if Jalen Hurts just literally comes out and just bums it to start the season and he's just not even remotely of what he was last year. I don't see that happening though. I have them winning it all, man. I don't see how the Cowboys can even from a talent perspective, even from a coaching perspective, that you're gonna tell me McCarthy is gonna put up a coaching master class and fucking get the Cowboys to run the Eagles out of this division. I don't see it happen. So go ahead, give me the bullshit on your Eagles take.
The Eagles. Your last take about them winning it all. They wouldn't even beat San Fran if Brock Purdy got hurt. So that's bullshit.
Nope,
Um,
nope, false.
it's absolutely true. Anyway, I do think they're fucking stacked. I think they draft absolutely phenomenal. I like what they're doing in the sense of their roster. They are trying to mix young with new with the old. Um, I just think on the back end they're just fucking old. I do think Slay's a beast still. I think Bradbury's still a beast. I don't like their safeties. They let some people go because they had to pay some other people. Um, but again, because of their line, they can have a decent safeties. Um, so I do think they're stacked offensively. We already know what they're able to produce. Just run, run, run. They're the fucking new Ravens on my book. They're boring as fuck to watch. I can't watch them. I hate
The
them.
Eagles are boring.
Yeah, yeah, they're boring to watch. I'm sorry.
I love watching them. I love
I
watching
can't watch them. I can't. It puts me to sleep.
because you don't like.
But
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't like the Eagles. I don't like Eagles fans. I don't like anything about them. If Jalen Hurts, I actually like Jalen Hurts. Somebody mentioned this when I was playing fucking Madden yesterday. And if Jalen Hurts was on any other team in the league, I would actually cheer for him. I would root for this guy because I like his story. I like his
Yeah.
character. I like his personality. I just don't like the fact he played for the damn Eagles. So with that being said, screw you, Jalen Hurts. Screw you. Um,
Hey, I'm gonna give you a wild story. So I know you're from Jersey, but so my girl is too, and we go visit her family pretty damn often. And Eagles fans are different, man. I went to church with her family. I swear to fucking God, half the people in the church was wearing Eagles jerseys. I'm talking like Westbrook jerseys. I'm talking Donovan McNabb jerseys. I'm talking, everybody you could think of had an Eagle jersey on. Like it was the most casual Philly church I ever seen in my fucking life. I could all tell like we all praising right now, but like everybody's thinking about going home and watching this game right now. It's it's the most
he said,
wild shit.
I went to the Church of the Eagles of Christ.
Fucking facts. Fucking everybody praying that Jalen Hurts has an MVP season. I'm not a big Philly guy. Like personally, like I'm not anti Philly at all. I get give some pushback to her family and stuff like that, just because I like rustling some feathers in
Yeah,
the family. But it's I it's gonna take something major. And Jalen Hurts, I'm a big fan of him. Just like you kind of said, I love his fucking motivational speeches. He's a dog. Like he is a dog. His personality, and that's the type of quarterback I like to see. Specifically, like a black quarterback, man. Like I think he's a great role model for a black quarterback, and for a
mm,
lot of young quarterbacks coming out of be just like Jalen Hurts. Like I don't want you to be like RG3. I don't want you to be, Michael Vick. Is a good role model at post dog fighting type shit. But like, I want every quarterback to be like Jalen Hurts off the field, and he's just a great guy. So that's why I got to root for him. We wrapping this up.
indeed.
Yes, sir. Another great week on the No Said Sports Podcast. We love giving you guys some great clips, some great information. Just putting our opinions out there, backed up with some facts and some logic behind it too. I have a great time doing this. Trey, I'm assuming you have a great time doing this.
Absolutely not. I hate every single one of you.
He's just like emo. I'm gonna start calling you emo Trey. Anyways, he's a sarcastic asshole, and I am a charismatic, fucking sports host. So that's how we're gonna wrap this up. Make sure you guys go watch the full long form content on YouTube and Spotify. I have this pod up in the morning. I'm about to finish packing all this shit up, and we're gonna have a different podcast room on my side next week. Being said, so yeah, like I said, love you guys. This is the Enough Said Sports Podcast, week 13. Big pussy, big pussy, big pussy. You gotta do.
I'm
You gotta do
weak.
big pussy, big pussy. With that being said, Trey, you got any last words?
No, appreciate y'all. Continue to comment on continue to interact on all social medias. We do appreciate it. Again, we know we've been on a little bit on the slow side of getting things out, but now that again seasons is coming into play and there's more to discuss, we want to make sure that we are putting the content out there for you guys. So we will definitely be doing so. So appreciate it. Continue to share as needed, and look forward to again interacting with you suckers.
Sorry, I didn't mean to fuck your shit up. But apparently it was we're speaking of the Eagles. So, a receiver for the Eagles named Tyree Cleveland was just carted off the field on a stretcher after landing hard on his head and neck while trying to make a catch. He didn't seem to be moving, so uh,
He played for I want to say Cleveland before actually. I know him. Yeah, I remember he had dreads, I believe. I remember that name. Um,
prayers up for him, full recovery, hopefully. You know, best of wishes. With that being said, again, this is the Enough Said Sports Podcast Show. We're just two guys trying to make a dream happen in the sports world, and we are dedicated to making that happen. All right. So with that being said, yeah, gotta have the tears coming down, motivated. Doing big shit. With that being said, we might have another person on the show next week, maybe, or the weeks to come. Uh, Not sure. We'll make it a surprise when it does happen. Or I just kind of spoiled it. So it really don't matter. But either way, love you guys. We are out. Peace out.